Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The chair of today's function, Professor Dr. A.B.M. Ubaidul Islam, Honorable Vice Chancellor, BOU. Today's chief guest, Professor Dr. S.M.A. Faiz, Honorable Chairman, University Grants Commission of Bangladesh. Today's welcome, the keynote speaker, Dr. Bashir Hamad Sadarak, Director of the Media Center for Asia SEMCA, Commonwealth, and the Professor Dr. Dil Roshan Zinnatara, Nazneen, Vice Chancellor, BOU, Professor Dr. Said Firdos, Vice Chancellor, Administration, and our very special guest, Dr. Siddique Zubair, Senior Secretary, Senior and Higher Education Division, Ministry of Education, Government of Bangladesh, member. Is Dr. M. Kabirul Islam probably is absent today. And my friends and colleagues in the BOU, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. This seminar is blended TVET. It's a blended, it is in the sense is proper because the technical, vocational, education and training, each one of them deserves a seminar by itself for the whole day. But we have all blended them together and it would be nice to hear all perspectives of this topic. We need them. We need in a technical area. We need this is a new age of the robotics had just completed the other day 100 years of his birth. We haven't proceeded much in that direction. Neither our neighboring countries very much, for the fear that many people would be left out of jobs. But that is not completely true because there is need for, there are hardly any country which doesn't depend on the manpower of other countries in some extent or other. So there are high technologies, if not needed for a country, would be useful for other countries. But then the vocational, the training, it has two aspects. One is the, as I said, for training abroad, and the other is for building your own countries. I don't have much time, but I would like to say, when I got this notice, it sounded very similar to me to what I thought of 31 years ago when I was the Vice Chancellor of the Bangladesh Open University. The Ministry of Education organized a workshop on education. And I was asked to give a main speech on Karmamukhi Shikha. That means the education which gives you employment and work-oriented education. Now, much of it is related to what is the topic today, I will leave this paper with me, which I prepared 31 years ago. And if some of you, including the Vice Chancellor, want to read it and get something out of it, I'll leave it here for making copies. In this, while I explained the importance of these things, I made it very clear, unless a society is prepared to accept vocational and technical training as the order of the day, it is very difficult to get it going. How do you do the motivation? In our part of the world, respect for work is not that much pronounced. So what I did, I took an example. The Hindus have a goddess called Durga, and Durga has 10 hands. So here is depiction of a woman with more than 10 hands, with more than 10 hands. I don't know if this is, you can see it, but let me give a pictorial, a sort of word description. With one hand, she is husking the rice, and with another hand is boiling the rice for the family member. With another hand, she is giving feed to the chicken. With another hand, she is treating the ill patients in the house. With another hand, she is fanning the hot food. With another hand, she is milking the cow. With another hand, she is giving fodder to the cows. All these things she is doing, and her husband is saying, Amar bou kaj kore na. My wife does not work. So this was the situation 31 years ago. I don't think the situation has changed a little bit, but not to a great extent. Now what can the Open University do about it? Before the Open University gets into business and employs all these tools and techniques of vocational and other trainings, including the fourth industrial revolution, which also includes the Internet of Things, IoT, and a lot of other things, areas. We have to motivate our people to say that our society is built on work, on these people who are working. We need administration, we need officers, but we need technical people to keep the society going. And this is a very important area. And nobody can do this motivational work better than Bangladesh Open University. And I am sure that in the Bangladesh Open University, we have recruited people who have talents for doing this. If we give them the facilities, if we motivate them, they can employ. There are many ways of doing it. But I prefer the broadcasting model rather than the narrowcasting ones, because the broadcasting model is observed by many people if it is, this broadcasting is either before or after news, which I arranged to hold when I was the Vice Chancellor. And I'm sure the present Vice Chancellor is also a very dynamic person and is going to have an arrangement for the Shamsher television. And if we get a good chunk on television, our first work would be to promote the understanding of people. If you go to an educated people and say, one of the children if he or she says, I'm going to be a high-grade plumber, the family will shudder. You a high-grade plumber? What is that? What do you mean by that? All our people are graduates, they are MScs, they are teachers, they have done PhDs, and you want to be a high-grade plumber? Yes, that's a very useful trade. If you go to England, especially in winter, a high-grade plumber comes, works for 5 minutes, and asks for 50 pounds. Calculate how much it 50 pounds only for 5 minutes. So that's the kind of qualification and remuneration. The qualification, if qualification and remuneration do not go, and social acceptance, then no matter how recent things we teach them will be of no avail to this. So I'm very grateful to Dr. Bashir Ahmed Sadrak, the director of SEMCA, for holding this, and I'm sure that he will give us the kind of syllabus that he has been following so that we can tailor it to our needs in Bangladesh, and there could be a collaboration in these areas. But mind that it took a long time for the mentality to change. Abraham Lincoln, when he was polishing his shoes, a man came and he said, today I will let you down. So when other people gathered, he said, Abraham, you are polishing your own shoes. So put some quotation, own. You are polishing your own shoes? Abraham gave a very nice reply. He said, my dear friend, I am polishing my own shoes, but whose shoes do you polish? আমি নিজের জুতো পরিষ্কার করছি, তুমি কার জুতো পরিষ্কার করো? So this was the reply Abraham Lincoln gave. And this attitude took place for a long time even in the West. But now you go, a bus driver can become a prime minister. An ordinary person can become a high official if they have the tendency, the social recognition. Having said that, I'd like to give a couple of recommendations. One for our own people, and that is, if these things are introduced, and if you are given facilities to broadcast it, you have to do it in a way that it touches the hearts of people. Remember, when we created the Open University, coursework was not the main topic. Now we are doing the coursework, but what was the other topic? The other topic was to increase the social awareness of people about many things. And we started with social awareness. Greville Rambo, when he arrived from England to give a report to the Asian Development Bank about this university, he was very surprised that we started the university even before formal courses were introduced, with this public awareness. If you go to England, you'll find that at dead of night, the British television is broadcasting a material on Big Bang theory of creation, or Stephen Hawking's theory, or the death of the universe. People are watching with their eyes like this spread out. So not all of them can understand it. but they can understand that our learning, our children, have to be better in knowledge than us to understand these things. This is what Japan did. I will finish by giving one more example. When at a Nobel laureate conference, the celebrated theoretical physicist Richard Feynman was sitting by a Japanese Nobel laureate. So he asked the Japanese Nobel laureate, what is it that you want to, how is Japan so advanced these days? You know, in the 50s, after the war, the Japanese were having one bowl of soup only. That was the early 50s. And now, you are such an advanced country in the world. How did it all happen? So the Japanese replied, we, all Japanese parents, have one idea, and that is that our child must know better than us. And that is the thing that transformed Japan. They sent their people to many lands, asked them to acquire it, come back home. So, now that we are trying to have good media facilities after quite some time, now that we're having some broadcasting time, I would like the Vice Chancellor and I myself would be part of it even at this age, to see that the people are motivated and see the full strength of the people working here is exploited. That is our responsibility, to see that your power is exploited to the fullest measure for these purposes, for motivational. And the other thing is, you have to have technologies, not only for the people, but also for other things. And I'm not sure, I haven't seen the paper yet, but in the afternoon is included, I'll be happy. One of the very technical things these days that has come up is the learning of languages. Napoleon once said that one lives as many lives as one languages. If you go to Francophone countries, they all know French and they all know Arabic. When our people go to Saudi Arabia, they don't know Arabic, so they can't be given very good jobs. But if I will request the Vice Chancellor to sit with this vocational training ministry, and our present secretary would also, I think, will aid us in seeing that before you go, you are able to speak the language of the country in which you are posted. That is the basic requirement. And we had introduced this here, but for some reasons or other, it was not given. You say, all people are not interested. The people will become interested if it is linked with the livelihood. So, and then your foreign exchange income will also increase very much. So that is the first thing. The other thing is to our keynote speaker, Dr. Bashir Ahmed Sadarak, that we have started on a new plan with the media, with the advanced training in the new fields, and our Vice Chancellor is very dynamic. And I would request you to see that the Commonwealth gives us as much facility as possible for making this thing happen in our own land. If don't things happen in the land, then the regional cooperation will not be successful. If these things happen in our land, then we can exchange notes, we can exchange people, and there will be very good collaboration. So, Dr. Bashir Ahmed Sadrak, you know more than I do that your name denotes a very good religious fervor, religious significance, the Sadrak, if I'm not wrong. So I hope that you will use that religious fervor to build good collaboration between these two countries and also between us and the Commonwealth. With those words and with the invitation to my own colleagues to rise up and face the new situation, new demands of the country, and make this a glaring example of cooperation. John Daniel, whom I met long ago, was the Vice Chancellor of the British Open University, said that the British Open University at that time was the third technologically developed the organization in the country. Third technologically developed in England. Why? Why could he say that? Because he invited people, he built people up, and everybody saw who are there, and I'm sure you can rise up to the occasion and build yourself up in a position that the BOU can become an example of advanced vocational training and the educational training, the vocational training, and the technical training all in a blended way. Thank you very much. With these words, I do retire.